This is a Renzo Dirt Boy production.
Pushing, stepping, 6-1, repping, top of the best thing, doing all right.
So we've got a really special celebration of local talent in the creative space, and I'm lucky enough to have one of the performers here. So I'm going to introduce Matteo, or Dunamis, as he goes by as well. So thanks for coming in today.
Appreciate you having us.
So it's amazing to have some local young artists in our creative space.
Yeah.
How did you get into music?
Yeah, so obviously great to be here, great to be a part of this first and foremost. Just grateful for the opportunity to be able to showcase what we do. But no, I'd say I got into music from really early. I'd say maybe even like from birth. Like my dad's a massive music fan. I'm Colombian, so it's always been about salsa and cha-cha and bachata and all them kind of different Latin sounds. So I always grew up with that, and then obviously there was the church side of it as well. So my parents, they obviously Christian, so I grew up in that sort of environment, and I was always interested in like the worship side of it, and when they would sing and dance. And then obviously I got into piano lessons and stuff like that very early, but I could only really do that for maybe like a year because it's really expensive. So then the rest of it was just really self-taught and trying to build into that, and then eventually started writing my own songs, and then with my friends we sort of started creating music together, and now it's become something that we're all really proud of. So yeah, I'd say that's from a very early age and through family, I'd say mostly.
Pushing, stepping, 6-1, repping, top of the best thing, doing all right, but I can't do settling. Pushing, stepping, take off.
So where in Wythenshawe did you grow up?
In Benchill.
Benchill,
So I'm from Benchill, yeah. So just by, I don't know if you know where the Jimmy Egan's boxing academy is.
Yeah.
But
it's an institution, yeah.
Exactly, it's just around there, which is obviously another pillar of Wythenshawe, if you like.
Okay, because Papa's from Benchill as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's more round like the Glayside way. Yeah,
okay, we won't hold that against him, will we? So I guess what we do in the creative space is we like to offer cultural and creative opportunities to young people. So we got Arts Council funding to build the performance area, the studio. And we obviously had young people at kind of the heart of our offer. So I guess when you were growing up in Benchill, when you went to school, what kind of opportunities did you have, or was it kind of few and far between, or was it more DIY?
Yeah, I would say there was very limited opportunities in terms of like, places set up like the one we're sat in right now, or the studio that's next door, or the creative space where we're about to do this performance for It's A Shawe Thing. Like this is like unprecedented. That's why we're so excited. We're like, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're like kids running around there. Like we're all like kids. Like this is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what we needed. And so for young people, especially in Wythenshawe, obviously it's a difficult area for many reasons. Has its challenges, but to be able to come here and have a place to express yourself and be able to just get your art out is really special, and that's not something that I can say we were lucky to have when we were growing up, especially locally. We'd have to. I remember the first studio session I went to, I had to book out a studio in Cheetah Mill, by Strangeways Pirate Studios. Those were my first times going into like an actual professional studio and looking at what equipment looks like and stuff like that. And it's a dodgy place, man. Like, Wythenshawe's like you think is a bit of a like that over there was a bit of a challenge as well. So we had to go out really to get a taste of that.
Yeah.
It was never really just here, if you know what I mean.
I think it's quite hard being a young creative now, like especially the lack of provision and the lack of access. So having this space here is, obviously I'm biased because I run the place, but I think it's a really good opportunity for people.
Right now, my trying to make something shake, flying back and forth on Simon's way. I can't do what Simon says. Full speed ahead, no brakes. For real though, we've been setting the pace. Chat to my hand, cause my face ain't listening. Chat to my hand, can't chat to my face. Yo, different with it.
Tell me about It's A Shawe Thing. What the event is about tonight, and I guess what you're trying to not achieve, but like, what you're trying to do, I suppose.
Yeah, no, definitely. So It's A Shawe Thing. I got to shout out Bad Boy Studios, have put this whole event on and helped us throughout the whole process. But it's basically telling the story of our EP that we dropped last year. So there's 3 of us. There's Dunamis, myself, Renz Nero, and Grim. And then obviously that was all executively produced by Woodini, which is he's an amazing producer, amazing DJ, amazing just mixing engineer, everything. He's the kind of tech guy behind it all. And this is like the road to 10,000 hours, if you like. So the EP is called 10,000 hours, which, as you know, that's what people cliche sort of say, that is how long it takes to perfect a craft and etc. So we thought we'd kind of embody that, because we've all put, you know, a lot of hours in individually to try and make this happen. So yeah, this is kind of telling the story of that. We've got sort of various different pictures of our kind of significant areas where we grew up, places that we frequent, places that were important to us as children. We've got stories, music videos, a short film that we'll be screening as well. And it's really just to show not just the young people, but Wythenshawe in general, and, you know, whoever does get to see this as well outside of Wythenshawe, what we're about, that we can sort of create good things, that good things can come from these sides of Manchester. And yeah, we're really proud of it, and to showcase it in the forum it just doesn't even equate in my head sometimes, because this is where I had swimming lessons, where I played football on Fridays and Saturdays, where, you know, the gym was here. It's difficult. I've had difficult times here as well. You know, the job centre's just around the corner downstairs as well. Like, this is where everything happens. Like, it's a crazy hub where, you know, thousands of people come here every single day. And to be able to have this exhibition up and for people to have the opportunity to see it is just something I'm really grateful for.
I think it's kind of meant to be, because we're at a very interesting time in Wythenshawe. So obviously, look across Civic, got the regeneration, new culture hub happening. So I think you've kind of captured the last remaining days of Old Civic. Yes. Which I think is quite beautiful as well, because I know from the outside looking in, people have apprehensions about it, but the footfall, the amount of characters, the amount of people that walk through every day, it's kind of representative of the Wythenshawe people. Exactly. You're going to see that tonight as well during the live performance. You know, we've embodied like a lot of the realness of what it is to grow up here and what it has been, and also highlighting the hope of what's to come. And, you know, what is possible to sprout from like a difficult situation, even though, you know, it's got a bad rep and stuff like that. We can change that narrative, and, you know, we can definitely show what we're about, and to have the opportunity to do it here is something that we're really excited to do.
Said he was, but he weren't even there. No many man that are just like you could never make me in pairs. Blessed and rare. Team for that touch strike.
So I spent, as I said, 2.5 years here, and honestly, like, I love the people, I love the area. There's a certain authenticity about the place. Yeah. There's no, like we say in Ireland, people with notions. People are just down to earth, like, you know, it's just normal people. And there's also that kind of underdog mentality, which I like as well, because people underestimate just because of your postcode.
100,000%. There's like a genuine sort of rawness to being from Wythenshawe, that you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're proud of it. And not so much proud of, you know, the bad things that happen here and the struggles that we have, but also like just what that can make you and who that can make you and what that sort of can do for you as a person. I think it's massive, and I think that's what being from Wythenshawe is about.
And I guess to kind of add to that point, so within the creative space, we've got kind of our two core groups. So we've got Music Evermore, our rock school, and Wythenshawe Youth Theatre on every Sunday, and they're both led by two locals as well. Right. So for me, it's about actually offering opportunities to people born and bred, still living in the area.
Still here. And there's so much talent to showcase from Wythenshawe, not just as artists in terms of music, but in terms of every sort of facet of creativity, and in terms of organisation as well. You know, to put on an event, or an exhibition, to set that up, to know what goes into that. We're still learning that now, but to be able to put on the people from the area that are trying to do that as well is a massive experience for them.
If you're from M22, you know about rain. If you're from M22, you know about pain. We're from South Money, dog, better pop champagne.